The Montana Lifestyles podcast is brought to you today by Johnson Madison Lumber Company. Serving central Montana and Great Falls since 1923, their third-generation lumber yard supplies the general contractor and the general public alike. Garages, kitchens, baths, or a new deck, shed, or pole barn, Johnson Madison Lumber Company can get you what you need. And with over 360 years of combined experience, these guys are your project experts ready to help. Learn more at jmlumber.com and make sure to look up their Facebook. It's the Montana Lifestyles podcast right here at the MPRC, the Montana Pro Rodeo Circuit. I am so glad to be here with you. I have a very fun podcast coming for you because we interviewed some really amazing people. You know who we interviewed? People like you. People here just to have fun. I grabbed random strangers out of the area, the food court area, sat them down, and had a great conversation with each and every one of them. You ready to see a true taste of Montana? You ready to see what we're really about? You ready to see the hearts and minds of people? Well, guess what? That's coming up right here. Go! And record buttons do help when you're trying to make videos. Sometimes. Adrian, you're hanging out here at the rodeo today, and do you know what podcast you're on?
I sure don't, actually.
Yes, I love when people don't know. This is the Montana Lifestyles podcast. So the Lifestyles, Montana Treasure State Lifestyles, Montana Magazine, like all these things here, they have a podcast, and that's us.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so that's yours. You can have that.
Thanks.
Page 11 is my favorite, just so you know. Now, let's talk a little bit about what you do, because that part gets me giddy. You are working, I gotta say, one of the hardest jobs on planet Earth, but I would assume one of the funnest. What do you do?
I am an English teacher here in town for middle school 7th graders.
That's awesome. What do you teach?
I teach English.
What called you to English?
I have been teaching this my 9th year, which blows my mind some days. I know.
You don't look like you should be in your 9th year.
Thanks, I appreciate that. I have got my start in special ed, just inspired by family and things going on there, and then have just always, that was what I played as a kid. I just loved playing school, and I was always the teacher, and I'm a little bossy, if you ask anybody in my family. So, like being in charge, but just seeing the kids and being there to support them, it's been, bumpy ride, but it's always been good. And there's great things every day, and
always
I've loved it.
Ride.
So love my kids in the middle school, and they're weird. It's my best description for them, but they're my favorite.
You picked it. I mean, I'm sure them being weird is actually part of your favorite part of it.
Absolutely.
So where are you from?
Here in Great Falls.
Oh, I love when I meet fellow Great Falls folks. Now, Hannah, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a high school senior.
Oh.
Graduating hopefully by March.
Awesome.
And I just got a new job, and I'm a para-educator.
Yes! Awesome!
Yeah.
Awesome. So what you going to do next? What's the big dream?
I'm going to stay here the next 2 years and do college at Great Falls MSU.
Good choice.
And then hopefully go up to Havre.
Yeah?
That's close to our farm up there.
Okay.
And then do 4 years up at Northern.
Okay, and what do you want to take? What are you trying to get into?
Education is the goal.
A teacher?
Yes.
What do you want to teach?
Kindergarten, 3rd grade.
Excellent. Any specific subject?
I just love working with littles.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this one of your friends?
He's my cousin.
He's your cousin?
Yeah.
I like that he's playing with cameras. That's the way I like it. If you're playing with a camera that young, you're doing pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
Greta, tell me a little bit about yourself. Before I ask you what you're doing here at the rodeo, let me learn a little bit more about you, my dear. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I farm and ranch with my husband.
Really? Where?
South of Chester.
Awesome.
28 miles, or north of Fort Benton, 28 miles.
Tell me a bit about your farm.
We used to raise cattle, and we were into Charlotte.
Yeah.
And my husband and I raised our whole herd. We sold out our herd 4 years ago.
Wonderful.
But I don't miss feeding in 40 below weather.
And having to wake up earlier in the day and such like that, for sure.
Precisely.
I want everyone here to see your lovely face, so I'm just going to pull this microphone a little bit this way.
Okay.
That way everyone can see us. I kind of talk to you like this.
All right.
Yeah. So now, tell me a little, and you can look at me, I just don't want you hiding behind the microphone. Yeah. So now, I have talked to so many farmers and ranchers. Let's set this record straight here. This podcast is a podcast made by Montanans for Montanans, but I'm also from Florida. I lived there, and I moved up here about 6 years ago. So when I come up here and I meet all the amazing people in ag, especially the kids in 4-H and FFA, My mind is blown. So tell me a little bit about your family background and how old that farm is. Tell me how you got your start there.
Well, my husband is third generation.
Third?
Yes.
Awesome.
His grandparents came from Idaho, and they homesteaded in 1913.
Oh, man. I love those numbers. I love those numbers. You don't see businesses lasting as long as those numbers do.
No.
That's amazing.
When my husband is the oldest of 5 children.
Wonderful.
And his dad was one of 8 and was actually one of the children that was raised on the original homestead.
Wow.
And I actually live in the yard where the homestead is in my backyard, and the house that we live in, they lived in the homestead from 1913 to 1917 when they built the beginnings of the big house.
Nice.
And that's the house we live in.
Oh, man.
So I live in an old house.
But no, here's the thing. I actually just saw a bunch of historic pictures from the past just recently, dating back to 1917 and 19. And Montana is so beautiful and so incredible in those old pictures from that time.
Right.
It's amazing how absolutely resilient.
Oh, yes. They were made of strong stuff.
So now tell me, what got you into teaching?
So teaching, so my brother, I had Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. So he passed away when I was in high school, but he was always the really artsy one in the family, and he was great. I can kind of draw stick figures, sort of, if I try. But I was always really good at math and writing and all of it. I loved school. So when my dad would get frustrated helping my brother with his math, and my mom would too, I actually ended up being the sister, and that was one of the few moments we didn't fight.
Oh my gosh.
So
it's
we'd help each other with homework, and I might have paid him off to do some of my art projects, but we all passed. Everything's great.
I love it. I love it.
I haven't been in years.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
When was the last time you've been to a rodeo?
I think I was a freshman.
Really?
So maybe like 4 years ago.
Oh, my late. Well, and
right before COVID.
Right before COVID.
Yeah.
So now here's the thing. I've been talking to a lot of young folk who, of course, went through school and are going through school in COVID. What was that like for you?
It was so hard.
Was it?
I lost my freshman year.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't get that high school experience.
Yeah.
And I did sophomore year online.
Yeah.
Lost all that social connection. And then junior year, we were still wearing masks. And then I got diagnosed with a lot of medical stuff. So I stopped going to school, and then I transferred to Paris Gibson Education Center.
What a great school, though. That is an awesome school.
Oh, yeah. I've been excelling there and taking college classes.
And while doing your high school classes? Oh, she's one of those big movers. I love it.
Okay, I was an Air Force brat.
Oh, you're one of my people.
Yes.
I'm also an Air Force brat.
Oh, all right.
Nice.
Yay. We have to stick together.
Yes, we absolutely do. So tell me more.
Well, my dad was in the service until the end of my sophomore year of high school.
Yeah.
So in 4 years of high school, I went to 5 high schools in 3 states.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I do know that lifestyle. My parents chose to homeschool me. But you know, dots and all that stuff, moving around from school to school, place to place.
Absolutely.
So where all did you go, though? Because that's part of the one things about being a military brat that I loved is all the travel.
Well, pretty much we stayed in the States. My dad did all of his overseas in Iceland and Germany and whatnot prior to marrying my mother. No,
Nice
I was
job.
just a gleam in his eye then.
So what states have you been to?
Well, I was born in Great Falls, Montana.
Yes, that's my girl.
Yeah, and I was born on Great Falls Air Force Base
Oh, really?
in a tar paper shack
Oh, my land.
that was the hospital at that
Oh,
time.
my word. Now, that's very cool. So you were called into the teaching idea pretty young from your own family.
Absolutely, yes.
That is awesome. Awesome. What's your background with your family? Where are you guys from?
So we're Great Falls natives.
Yes.
Mom's born in Butte, and
Nice.
so she's a Butte girl, but moved all around. But my parents met here in town, sneaking at the Beacon back in the day. So we're Great Fallsians, and we've been here my whole life.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for teaching our kids. I mean, right now, I'm going to say this is the hardest time for kids. Good heavens, for Pete's sake, because you got all these kids that either are missing their parents. You're playing the parent role for so many of these kids. What is that like for you?
So, I mean, obviously we can go back to COVID, but even more than that, we just have kids that have this whole social media world and things like that, and they're meeting friends, or they're playing video games. And so the best thing for me is the past few years is just to have kids back in the classroom.
Right.
We were always blessed to not have to, do remote learning very long or for too long, and other states, had to stay out for a long time, but our kids got to come back right after, and so it's been a wild ride, and it's been difficult in some points, but I've got wonderful colleagues great parental support and really good kids.
Now here's
So.
the thing. Here's the thing as well. Now, a lot of teachers, first off, you were underpaid beyond belief, okay? And even if you were paid a lot, you're still underpaid beyond belief, okay? Take that from a kid who was homeschooled. So my mom deserved a lot of money. But now, when it comes to what you're doing otherwise, you got another job you're working. You're working with the Newberry. You're working with NBAR.
Yes.
And that's cool stuff too. What do you? So you're server, or are you bartender? What do you do?
So I started with the block a year and a half ago. That was my first kind of gig in the door, and so I spend a lot of money. And as a teacher, I needed just a second side hustle. So I went there, knowing Mike Callahan and the crew over there, and they were fabulous. So I started at the block, and then kind of migrated into Newberry when they opened last fall. So I've been with them from the opening doors, and that startup there, and that's been wonderful. And so I bartend over at Newberry for concerts and events, and we host, weddings and all sorts of kind of events for the public here in Great Falls, and that has been just a great journey with them and opening for them. So we're here tonight at the rodeo, hosting some food and beverages.
Yeah, you guys got VIP here.
Yes.
You're killing it with the VIP stuff, and this area over here looks absolutely awesome, for the record. Now, let me ask you, were you bartending when Josh Blue came into town by any chance?
I sure was.
What did you think?
He was hilarious.
Was he?
We also followed him over to the Sip-N afterwards.
Oh, no, I saw that Instagram video.
Yes. Oh, he was just a great. He, one of my favorite comedians to come through. We've had wonderful acts and concerts, and he would just hit the nail on the head with Great Falls, and we had a really good show with him.
You're shooting for college. You got the big dreams and stuff. What do you do for fun, though? What is the fun thing you do?
Love the outdoors.
Yes? Really?
Yes.
Where do you like to go?
Honestly, Giant Springs.
Oh.
Just
Keep it right here local.
Yeah. So beautiful.
What do you like about Giant Springs? The smallest river in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just that it's local in the beauty of the nature that God gave us.
Yes. Good choice of words.
Yeah.
Good choice of words. Have you ever seen that in like a really snowy day, like crazy snow?
Beautiful.
It's insane.
It's breathtaking.
Looks like one of those fairy tale places.
Out of a movie.
Out of a movie. Yeah.
Moved around a lot. My second year of life, we were back east, and we lived in Massachusetts area and around there.
Yeah.
And my mother told me that in 12 months, 1 year, we moved 12 times.
Oh my word.
And
oh my word.
One of the places we lived was in a converted chicken coop, and we lived there with 4 other families and shared one kitchen and one bathroom. I don't remember it, obviously, but
Oh my land, Greta, that's amazing.
yeah. So I actually lived in a chicken coop.
Were you raised in a barn? Yes, I was.
Yes, I
I was. Thank you. Oh man. Well, but what a wonderful life. Now, what was your career? What is your career? What do you do, or what did you do?
Well, like I said, my husband and I had 4 children.
Yeah.
And
4 children.
Yes, and I was a 4-H leader.
Oh, I love you already. Yeah. That's extra points.
20 years.
Oh.
And we actually, the name of our club was the Stir, Stitch, and Stirrup.
Oh, I love it.
4-H club, and we were the first and the oldest and longest consecutive running one in the whole state of Montana when I was a leader, and that was, oh goodness, a long time ago.
Like I said, the part that amazes me the most is the ag culture and the kids from 4-H. Mm-hmm. Please tell me what you saw as you saw these kids growing up over your 20 years of doing this. Oh, come on, tell me.
The kids that are in 4-H, they're a special breed. They're kids that normally do not get in trouble. They aren't big drinkers. They are not druggies at all. They grow up to be, a lot of them college educated, or they, go into farming and ranching with their folks. Yeah. And they're just very wholesome people. The kids that were in my 4-H club, all have children of their own, and some of them are grown now. Yeah. Telling my age here.
No, that's not telling your age, it's telling your blessings, my dear.
Yes, definitely.
That is the fact. That is the fact.
They're fabulous kids. I mean, I've worked with kids in youth group in our church for 10 years, and they're fabulous kids too, but there's just something special about kids that are raised on the farm.
Oh, yeah.
And they have to get up, and if they have livestock, they have to get up and feed them before they get on the school bus in the morning. So my kids were up feeding their steers and feeding their horses, and they had to do that before they got to the bus, and they got on the bus at 7 in the morning.
So thank you so much, Adrian. Now, if any of your family happens to see this, what do you want them to know? You want to tell them anything? She hates you all.
It's cold here in Montana. My parents now live in Phoenix, so it's not that cold here right now. You should come visit.
Yeah.
It's nice.
When was the last time you saw them?
Christmas.
Christmas. Oh, okay. So they just stopped in, or did you go to Phoenix?
I went to Phoenix. Oh,
Good
yeah.
for
I left
you.
the snow.
Did you experience the negative 40 the other night?
Oh, of course.
How'd you-
Absolutely.
How was that for you?
It was rough. I mean, it's cold, and you got to get up and go to school, and it's chilly. So,
Now, in your life here, you've been in Great Falls. I've only been here 6 years. Have you had that kind of cold before?
oh yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Worse?
I just remember there was a few years ago, my friend just got a new dog, and of course I'm the teacher off for Christmas break.
Uh-huh.
So she was at work, she works at the hospital, and so she asked me to go help with her new puppy and let the puppy out. Of course, it was this frigid cold week, and who's the nice friend sacrificing her life to go outside to
Pay attention here, friend.
make sure this puppy went potty, dang it.
Puppy didn't want to step on the snow.
Potty training was great. It's great.
Well, thank you so much, Adrian. I hope that you have a great night and that you get some time doing all the fun stuff. But also, thanks for giving all these people the great food from the block and from all the other stuff. Now, who is serving today?
N-Bar tonight. So
N-Bar
N-Bar will be hosting with the VIP food all weekend, so it'll be great.
All right, and then you can go to any of those restaurants, see her. She'll take good care of you, of course.
Heck yes.
Thank you so much, Adrian.
Thank you.
Awesome. And so now I love that you are so driven at this young age.
Yes,
thank
you.
And I want people to know about how amazing Paris Gibson Education Center is. I knew your old principal.
Drew Euchre.
Drew was is amazing still. I actually got to go flying with this man on a C-130.
Really?
It was wicked. And if you talk about beautiful views, you got to look outside of a C-130 as they open up the back door, and you're looking outside, and you're like, we're a couple hundred feet in the air, and I don't want to die. And Drew was cool. He was awesome. He was having a great time. But let me tell you something. I got to talk to that man, and he is absolutely incredible and believed in you so much. What do you like about that school? I want to tell people how cool your school is.
Yeah, PGEC is a family.
Yeah.
And at a normal high school, I believe it's over CMAR is over 1,000 students.
Yeah, right.
And from freshman to senior at PGEC, it's only 200 kids.
So you get a good chance to work with your teachers.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
have all of my teachers' cell phone numbers. They always are checking in on me.
I love it.
I'm checking up on them. We have lunch together. I've seen them outside of school, and just that relationship,
Yeah.
one-on-one.
Yeah.
And the big thing for me is I'm in control of my own education.
Right.
So I get to choose when and how I do an assignment and how I want to graduate.
Yeah. And how soon you want to graduate. You are self-motivated in that.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's how it should be personally.
Yeah.
You should be self-motivated to take that goal and reach for it.
Preach.
Yeah. No, that's one. I was homeschooled as a kid, so I was given what you are given. If you've been interested in something, there's a program for you that you can reach out for. You want to learn how to build websites, you want to learn how to do any of this stuff,
Absolutely.
there is a program to give you that direction that's probably more geared for you than some other schools could provide.
Oh, most definitely.
And that's the thing that Drew made very clear to me about Paris Gibson. And I'm like, okay, that's just awesome.
Yeah, he's an absolute legend, and my mom is friends with him on Facebook, and he's commenting. It's actually Ruth, his wife, that's commenting.
Oh no, she's amazing. I interviewed
love
her.
her. Yeah.
Hearing them both, retiring around the same time and stuff like that, and it's like, no, don't leave. I just met you. You're amazing. Don't go away. I'm fine.
Right?
They are absolutely incredible people, and what better leaders for your school?
Absolutely.
Except the people in charge now. Anyway.
Love you, Miss Jakes.
Yeah. So I haven't met you yet in person. I'm just saying I knew the previous guys, so, sorry. I absolutely love the culture that is coming out of ag.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely stunning. Now, please tell me why you're here. What do you look forward to in the rodeo?
Oh, gosh. Well, I went to, I graduated from Miles City in high school, and I went to the Miles Community College, and I was the state rodeo secretary for the state of Montana.
Oh, that's amazing.
And so I didn't actually do anything. I tried, bulldogging one day.
Really?
I wouldn't recommend it. I didn't break anything, but I thought I had. I tied goats and team roped and did all kinds of fun things.
Oh,
I
wow.
did not compete, but I was the state secretary, and I loved it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of in my blood.
Yeah.
I've just always done rodeos.
So you got to come and see it, huh?
Oh, absolutely. And Farm Credit Services is a fabulous organization.
Yeah.
My husband and I, like a lot of farmers and ranchers, we, get our working operation funds from them year to year, and buy equipment, and so they own part of our soul.
It is. Oh, yeah. It is amazing how farming and ranching works. You are putting down your whole life in front of the bank and saying, "Here it all is. We're going to try and get through this year, and you got to ride through with us."
Exactly.
That is amazing how that works.
Yes, it really is.
I had no idea about that until I moved out to Montana, and what an experience! What an experience!
Yeah, and they're fabulous people.
Yes.
And this is tonight is Member Appreciation Night from Northwest Farm Credit Services, and they're fabulous. They give each people that work there, that have loans there, each couple of tickets, and then we can buy discounted tickets for our family members.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
We came with 6 extra people, kids, grandkids.
That's
and
wonderful. You
they
brought
love
your family.
it. Oh yeah, absolutely. Family
Wonderful.
night.
In any case, Hannah, I hope you have a wonderful time tonight.
Yes, thank you.
It's nice to be out of the 2020 realm and into normalcy.
Absolutely.
Having a good time with families again and actually being able to see smiles.
Yes.
Just slightly.
Yes.
It does help. See the smiles. We like the smiles. So I hope that you have a wonderful day, and thanks for coming by and making this exciting, because honestly, it's January. What do we have right now? Freezing cold. So what do we get? Rodeo? That's awesome. That's exactly what we need.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, of course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this, okay? And on page 11 of this, you're going to see it says right here, MontanaLifestylespodcast.com.
Okay.
Go there. In a few days, this will be up on there, and you can share it with all your friends and cause some trouble, okay?
Heck yeah.
Now, one more thing. Of course, I get my shot with you. You ready? 1, 2, 3. So let's do a little bragging.
Okay.
You tell me that you like our publication.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about what you like about it. Because I'm going to make Hope listen to this later.
Gosh, it's about us.
It's about us.
And you can go to the newsstand and you can look at magazines all day, and they're not about us.
Yeah.
And you see neighbors in there.
Yeah.
And you see things that, oh my gosh, that is the cutest picture. I want to blow that up and hang that on the family room wall. It's us, and I love it. It's a free publication.
It's a free publication every month.
Every month.
I don't know how she pulls it off, but she does.
She does. She's amazing.
She really is. She really is.
And we had a big family wedding, and some of the kids that grew up in the homestead were here for it, and I always try to bring them something from Montana.
Yeah.
I brought them each 2 issues of Lifestyle magazines, and they were elated. They were so tickled.
All right, Hope, did you hear that? Keep an eye out, because she's causing you some good trouble here. I deeply appreciate that you shared that, because honestly, this amazing lady, I sat down with her and I said, listen, we need to do something together. We need to make something real and authentic together. I don't know magazines, but I know podcasts. And she's like, yep, let's do this.
Okay.
She's absolutely incredible, and what she brings to the table with her magazines just blows my mind. So, on page 11 here,
all right,
it happens to be my favorite page because it might be talking about the podcast. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But you can go and listen to it later by going to MontanaLifestylespodcast.com.
Perfect.
And you can listen to it there. So I'm going to give that to you. I'm sure you already got 6 million copies at home.
Well, I don't know if I have this particular one.
Well, you're welcome to 1 or 2 or 600 or 700.
Okay.
We'll work it out
like
for
I
you.
said, I go to Albertsons, do most of my grocery shopping there, or Smith's, and they have them there inside the door, and I always pick my copy up when I'm leaving.
Thank you so very much for spending some time with me.
You're welcome.
I appreciated this. I waved her down, a complete stranger, like, get over here and get on camera. She's like, okie dokie, fine, you weirdo. I appreciate it.
You betcha.
Did you enjoy yourself?
I did. That was fun visiting.
Wonderful. Now go have a good time at the rodeo for me, okay?
You got it. Will do.
Wonderful. More coming your way right here, folks. Stay tuned.
Thanks.
Humongous thanks. Treasure State Lifestyles Montana Magazine. These people are so incredible. They are so incredible. It's such an honor to work with them. And then also, our sponsor, Johnson Madison Lumber. 360 years of experience when it comes to taking care of all your stuff. Whether you're working on your deck, a pole barn, your kitchen, your dream bathroom, your dream home, Johnson Madison Lumber can help you out. You can learn more at jmlumber.com. jmlumber.com. Thank you so much for checking this out. If you do enjoy it, make sure to hit that like button on our social medias. And of course, make sure that if you're not following our podcast yet on one of those podcast apps, make sure you follow us, okay? We look forward to seeing much more of you, and thank you so much for checking out some of the content that we bring your way as we show you a podcast for Montanans, made by Montanans, right here from the Treasure State Lifestyles Montana Magazine. We are the Montana Lifestyles Podcast.